The prison phone clicked, and the line went quiet. On the other end of that call, somewhere far away, a federal agent stared at a notebook filled with strange symbols. Lines. Numbers. Short words that did not make sense by themselves. But together, they told a terrifying story. A story about drugs moving across states. About hidden money. About a cartel network no one had been able to fully understand. And the person helping to break the code was not a free man. He was locked inside a prison cell. The most shocking moment came late one night. The agent leaned back in his chair and whispered, "If this is true, the whole network falls." At that exact moment, alarms sounded inside the prison. Lights flashed. Guards ran. And the prisoner who had been secretly helping the government sat very still in his cell, knowing one thing for sure. If anyone found out what he had done, he would not survive the night. And that is where this story truly begins. Months earlier, the prisoner was just another number. His name was Michael Reyes. Michael was not famous. He was not a big boss. He was serving time for a drug-related crime, a small role compared to others around him. He kept his head down, followed the rules, and spoke only when needed. To other inmates, Michael looked weak. To the guards, he looked harmless. But inside Michael's mind was something dangerous. He could see patterns. Before prison, Michael had worked as a courier. He moved packages and passed messages. He never carried drugs himself. He never met the top leaders. But he listened. He watched. He remembered. The cartel trusted him because he asked no questions. That was their first mistake. Michael noticed that messages were never sent the same way twice. Numbers were mixed with names. Places were hidden inside stories. Times were changed using small tricks. It was not random. It was a code. Inside prison, Michael had time. Too much time. He replayed old conversations in his head. He wrote patterns in the air with his finger. He counted steps. He counted words. Slowly, something began to click. The cartel did not use one code. They used layers. And Michael could peel them back. The day everything changed was quiet. A guard stopped at Michael's cell and said, "You have a visitor." Michael froze. He had no visitors. In the small interview room, a man in a plain suit sat across from him. No badge on display. Calm voice. Sharp eyes. "I hear you notice things," the man said. Michael said nothing. The man slid a piece of paper across the table. On it were symbols Michael recognized immediately. His heart pounded. "You know what this means," the man said softly. Michael swallowed. "Yes." That was the beginning. Michael did not confess. He did not brag. He simply explained what he saw. Slowly. Carefully. Like teaching a child how to read. The agent listened. And realized Michael was not guessing. He was decoding. From that day on, Michael lived two lives. By day, he was invisible. He ate. He cleaned. He walked the yard. By night, he remembered. Every symbol. Every number. Every strange phrase he had once ignored. The agent brought more pages. More messages. More intercepted notes. Michael broke them apart piece by piece. Routes appeared. Drop locations. Payment systems. Names hidden inside nicknames. A massive drug network began to show itself. But secrets do not stay secret in prison. Another inmate noticed Michael being taken away often. A guard started asking questions. Whispers spread. Why does he get special treatment? Who is he talking to? Why is he still alive? Michael felt eyes on him everywhere. He stopped sleeping well. One afternoon in the yard, a man sat beside him. Too close. "You think you're smarter than us," the man said quietly. Michael did not answer. The man smiled without warmth. "Be careful," he said. "Walls have ears." That night, Michael made a choice. He passed a final message to the agent. A warning. "They're getting close." The agent replied with urgency. "We're almost there. One more piece." Michael stared at the wall of his cell. One more piece could end the cartel. Or end him. Days later, Chaos erupted. A fight broke out in another wing. Guards rushed away. Doors slammed. Sirens wailed. Michael stayed seated. Too calm. Then footsteps approached his cell. Slow. Deliberate. A shadow stopped outside his bars. Someone whispered his name. And Michael knew the code was broken. Not just the cartels, but his cover too. The footsteps outside Michael Reyes's cell did not stop right away. They paused. That was worse. Michael sat on his narrow bed, his hands flat on his knees, his breathing slow and controlled. In prison, fear was dangerous. It made people act fast. Acting fast got people noticed. The shadow outside the bars shifted. Then it moved on. Michael did not relax. Not yet. The next morning, the prison felt different. Too quiet. Guards spoke in low voices. Inmates watched each other instead of joking. Even the air felt heavy, like it was waiting for something bad to happen. Michael knew the signs. Something had leaked. In the interview room later that day, the agent looked tired. They know someone is talking, the agent said. They don't know it's you. Not for sure. Michael nodded. That won't last, he said. The agent slid another paper across the table. This one was longer. More complex. We found this last night, the agent said. It came from inside the network. If you can break this, we can shut down the biggest route they have. Michael stared at the page. His stomach tightened. This message was different. Smarter. Back in his cell, Michael worked in his head. He broke the message into parts. Looked for repeated numbers. Hidden patterns. Words that did not belong together. Hours passed. Then something clicked. The numbers were not dates. They were distances. The words were not names. They were directions. The code pointed to a moving route, one that changed locations every few hours. A route designed to never be caught. Michael shared what he found. The agent's eyes widened. This explains everything, he said. Why we were always late. For the first time, the agent smiled. But Michael did not. Because success brought attention. And attention in prison was deadly. That evening, Michael noticed his food tray had been touched. Not stolen. Moved. A signal. Later, while walking the yard, someone brushed past him and whispered, "Clock's ticking." Michael did not turn around. That night, a fight broke out 2 cells down. Guards rushed in. Someone screamed. Michael stayed still. Then his cell door opened. A guard he had never seen before stood there. "Reyes," the guard said. "You're moving." "Why?" Michael asked. No answer. They walked him down a hallway he did not recognize. No cameras. No windows. They stopped at a small holding cell. The door closed. The guard leaned close. "Wrong people are asking about you," he whispered. "That's all I'm saying." Then he left. Michael sat alone in the dark. He understood now. The cartel did not need proof. Suspicion was enough. The next day, the agent came again, this time with urgency. "We're ready to move," the agent said. "Raids. Arrests. Everything." Michael nodded. "But you need protection," the agent continued. "Now." Michael looked up. "Not tomorrow," he said. "Now." That afternoon, prison alarms sounded again. But this time, they did not stop. Doors slammed. Guards shouted orders. Michael was pulled from his cell, handcuffed, and rushed through back corridors. He heard shouting behind him. Angry. Panicked. Someone yelling his name. As they pushed him into a secure transport van, Michael caught one final glimpse of the prison yard. Men watching. Men remembering his face. The van door slammed shut. As it drove away, Michael felt something he had not felt in years. Hope. But hope in this world was fragile. Because the cartel was about to realize something terrifying. The code they trusted for years was no longer theirs. And when they found out who broke it, they would come for him, no matter where he was taken. The van drove for hours without stopping. Michael Reyes sat inside, hands cuffed, eyes closed, listening to the hum of the road. Every bump made him tense. He did not know where they were taking him. He only knew he was no longer inside the prison where the cartel had eyes everywhere. That helped. A little. When the van finally stopped, Michael was moved quickly through a secure building. No signs. No windows. Just doors that opened and closed with heavy sounds. He was placed in a small room. A different agent entered this time. Older. Calm. Careful. What you gave us worked, the agent said. The network is breaking. Michael felt his chest tighten. How many? He asked. Enough, the agent replied. And more coming. Across several states, things were happening all at once. Warehouses were searched. Trucks were stopped. Money accounts were frozen. Phones went silent. People who thought they were safe were suddenly not. The cartel's code, the one they believed was unbreakable, had turned against them. Routes were exposed. Meetings were intercepted. Names were no longer hidden. But success brought danger. The cartel realized the truth faster than the agents expected. Someone inside prison had helped. And there were only a few people smart enough to do it. Michael Reyes became a target. For the first time, Michael was told the truth. You can't go back, the agent said. Anywhere. Michael nodded. He had already accepted that. You'll disappear, the agent continued. New name. New place. No contact with anyone from before. Michael hesitated. What about the others? He asked. The people still inside. The agent paused. We're doing what we can. Michael looked down. He had known the cost. That night, Michael was moved again. Different vehicle. Different route. Different guards. When the sun came up, the world looked normal again. Houses. Trees. People going to work. No one knew who he was. That was the point. Days later, news began to spread. Quietly. Reports of a major drug network collapsing. Arrests without warning. A cartel scrambling to regain control. No names were given. No source was mentioned. Michael watched from a small television in a safe room. He felt relief. And fear. Weeks passed. Michael learned his new name. He learned his new job. He learned which streets to walk and which ones to avoid. He learned how to be invisible. Again. Some nights, he woke up sweating. He dreamed of prison doors opening. Of footsteps stopping outside his room. Of someone whispering his old name. He would sit up and listen. But nothing came. The cartel never found him. Not because they stopped looking. But because the network Michael helped destroy was never rebuilt the same way again. The code was gone. Trust was gone. Power was broken. Michael Reyes did not become a hero. His name never appeared in the news. No one thanked him publicly. But somewhere, fewer drugs moved. Fewer orders were followed. Fewer people were hurt. And that was enough. The prisoner who secretly broke the cartel code did not escape prison walls. He escaped the life that built them. And in doing so, he ended a drug network from the inside.